During last week's PlayStation State of Play, Konami shadow dropped a completely free, all-new sequel to the Silent Hill franchise. But is this return to my favorite horror series a return to glory? Or has Konami gotten lost in its own fog? Let's find out in this Megadad's review of Silent Hill: The Short Message. As its name and price point suggest, Silent Hill: A Short Message is a brief gameplay experience. It is a complete game. This is not a demo. Very much akin to Hideo Kojima's PT back on the PlayStation 4. It gives you a full experience, an encapsulated story, and a hint of what is to come for the future of the franchise. I have my fingers crossed that A Short Message bears more fruit than the troubled PT did, because I absolutely love what Konami has done here to revitalize Silent Hill for the modern day, while not losing sense of its psychological horror roots. While some players may be off-put by the lack of video game in A Short Message, I think what Konami has done here is brilliant, taking the 2-hour playtime and making this more of an interactive haunted house experience, skewing things like combat and inventory management. All those things would only overcomplicate and bog down what Konami's trying to do here in providing a single, streamlined, self-encapsulated horror experience. What Konami has on its hand here is an homage and a love letter to what we've missed about Silent Hill. There are very familiar things both in the gameplay, calling to mind PT, and the storyline, calling to mind things like Silent Hill 2. Everything feels very familiar. The music, Akira Yamaoka, is back, and his haunting score is as on point as ever. But they've also brought this into the modern age in very smart ways. A Short Message does this fantastic callback to one of my favorite Silent Hill games, Shattered Memories. Shattered Memories was a Silent Hill game on the Nintendo Wii, and it did this exceptional thing of using your Wii Remote speaker to simulate your cell phone. You would get calls from characters in the game, and your controller would crackle and talk. And Silent Hill: A Short Message does the same thing. You'll be getting text messages from characters throughout the game, and there's nothing creepier than walking down a dark hallway and seeing a shadowy figure in the distance, and then your DualSense controller pings because you get a text message. I'm telling you, speakers buried inside your video game controllers are a fantastic way to provide jump scares. You play as a young high school girl named Anita who shows up at this decrepit apartment complex on behest of her friend Maya, who has sent her a text message to meet her there. Once you make your way inside of this apartment building, reality starts to twist and your mind starts to bend in all those great Silent Hill ways. Again, starts to feel very familiar. And without going into any spoilers, let's just say that the invitation that you have received really calls to mind the opening of Silent Hill 2 in some brilliant ways. The further you progress and explore this creepy, desolate apartment complex, the more you begin to understand that things are very wrong here and you are in incredible danger. But the danger doesn't really manifest in a way that a typical video game does. You're not going to be doing any combat. You're not going to be fighting any monsters. You will be running away from some. But no, the fear in Silent Hill: A Short Message really harkens to the best scares and feelings of unease of the Silent Hill franchise's history. A Short Message's inclusion and infusion of live-action cutscenes interspersed between gameplay really does a fantastic job of creating that sense of a split in reality. You'll be playing the game in engine, and then you'll have a flashback to conversations you had with Maya, and Maya's presented in live action. And while some players who aren't familiar with Silent Hill and the vibe that it's trying to project might think that these live-action cutscenes feel low budget, that really is in service to that feeling of things just being off. All of these cutscenes are dubbed, and the voices don't quite match up one-to-one with the delivery of the actors, and it's so fantastic. It feels weird, and it gets under your skin, and it just lends itself to the ominous oppression that A Short Message delivers all the way through. The story in Silent Hill: A Short Message is a brief one, but it's also a very powerful one, tapping into something grounded very much in today's modern world. You play a high school student who is battling depression, social media anxieties, and bullying at school. Oftentimes this game feels like what would happen if Life is Strange and Silent Hill merged And the marriage is something that I am very into. If there's one thing that I've always respected Silent Hill for as a property, it's telling heartbreaking stories where the character's own demons manifest. And A Short Message does that brilliantly. I was very much invested in Anita and Maya's storyline. And the entire time I felt like a fish on a hook just being reeled towards the ending as things spiral slowly and slowly, and sometimes quickly out of control. If there's one criticism that I can lodge at A Short Message, it is the enemy encounters. This game is at its best when you are not faced with something trying to kill you. And while it doesn't make the mistake of introducing combat, there are several chase sequences, again, very much like Silent Hill Shattered Memories, where all you have to do is run through a never-ending and always changing labyrinth as this incredibly scary demon barrels down on you to end your life. These mazes, these labyrinths can be very confusing, and oftentimes I didn't know what I was supposed to do. Sometimes you go through a door and it loops you back to the beginning of the chase. Other times you go through a door and it progresses you to a checkpoint. It was never really clear, but one thing that was clear is you couldn't stop running. If this thing catches up to you, it's not a game over, it just ejects you back to the beginning of the chase sequence and you have to do it all over again, which can lead to frustration. So the chases aren't perfect, but they are a small part of this brief experience, and it only knocks it down a little bit.
Bad things happen because of you! Maybe I can be like her. Here goes.
Silent Hill: A Short Message is a beautiful, powerful, frightening return to Silent Hill. I am so happy with this product. It's free. You can't go wrong with free. But you know what? I would have paid good money for this. Thank you, Konami, for returning this franchise to its glory. Silent Hill: A Short Message gets 4 out of 5 stars.
Oh, yeah. Maya told me to come here.